We're also working very much with South Korea. We're working with Japan. We're working with China to a lesser extent, but we're working with China.
And you're going back to Singapore?
I would come back gladly. Your Prime Minister was fantastic. We were with him yesterday. He's done a great job. It was very welcoming. It probably made a difference, actually. It's a great place. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. What was it about that first interaction with Chairman Kim this morning that made you decide not to walk away after you said that you would know within the first minute if he was sincere?
I've said that about relationships. I've said that about people. You know, in the first second, now I was generous, I said 5 seconds, but you know, in the first second, in some cases, sometimes that doesn't work out, but sometimes it does. From the beginning, we got along, but there's been a lot of groundwork. This wasn't like we went and we started talking about, as you know, right? We didn't just come in and start talking about these very complex subjects that have been going on for 70 years. We've been discussing this for months. And, once the rhetoric stopped, once they did a great, but it is my thing. I mean, again, this really could have been done easier a long time ago. But I know I just feel very strongly, my instinct, my ability or talent, they want to make a deal. And making a deal is a great thing for the world. It's also a great thing for China, because I can't imagine that China is happy with somebody having nuclear weapons so close. So, China was very helpful. So I think he wants to make a deal. Can anybody be certain? But we're going to be certain soon because the negotiations continue. Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead.
You mentioned that you have raised extensively the issue of human rights with Chairman Kim. I wonder what you would say to the group of people who have no ability whatsoever to hear or to see this press conference, the 100,000 North Koreans kept network of human rights. Have you betrayed them by legitimizing the regime in Pyongyang?
No, I think I've helped them because I think things will change. I think I've helped them. There's nothing I can say. All I can do is do what I can do. We have to stop the nuclearization. We have to do other things, and that's a very important thing. So at a certain point, hopefully you'll be able to ask me a much more positive question or make a statement. But not much I can do right now. At a certain point, I really believe he's going to do things about it. I think they are one of the great winners today, that large group of people that you're talking about. I think ultimately they're going to be one of the great winners as a group. Yes, sir, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. They've given it up even before, and even add the Olympics to it. You could add the Olympics to the question. They went to the Olympics. They took an Olympics that was going to be a massive failure that maybe wouldn't have even opened. And they made it a tremendous success by agreeing to participate. Add that to the list of things that they've done. So, Ryan, if I can save millions of lives by coming here, sitting down, and establishing a relationship with someone who's a very powerful man, who's got firm control of a country, and that country has very powerful nuclear weapons, it's my honor to do it.
Are you concerned that the video you just showed could be used by Kim as propaganda to show him that?
No, I'm not concerned at all. We could use that video for other countries. Go ahead.
Mr. President, in the year 2000, President Clinton got a request by Kim Jong-il.
Got impressed?
Got a request from Kim Jong-il to travel to Pyongyang and meet him, and Clinton refused. He sent Secretary of State Albright.
Yeah, he did a great deal, and he spent $3 billion and got nothing. They started making nuclear weapons.
Mr. President, you, on the other hand, got the request and right away went here to meet him. And do you understand those people who said that you gave him the ultimate present, a legitimacy to regime or oppress its people without ongoing process before you, as the U.S. President, as the leader of the free world, meet and shake hands with this leader of North Korea who is perceived to be oppressing brutally his own people?
Okay, good. I think we just answered the question.
But do you understand?
I understand it much better than you do. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mr. President, Eliana Johnson with
Sure.
Politico.
Hi.
Hi. You mentioned a couple specific concessions that you got from Kim, the return of remains and the destruction of the nuclear site. And I know you said that was...
And much more.
Yeah, I know you said the last thing was an add-on and it wasn't in the agreement, but that he gave you his word. If he doesn't follow through on these things, what are you prepared to do in response? And will you lose faith in this process?
No, I think he'll do it. I really believe that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. I really believe it. It was really the engine testing site, in addition to all of the other things that they've agreed to do. They have a very powerful engine testing site that, again, we're able to see because of the heat that it emits. And I'm able to... I'm very happy, I'll tell you what, I'm very happy with those 2 points, the 2 points you mentioned, but I think you might be referring to the thing that's not in, which is the engine testing site. Honestly, I think he's going to do these things. I may be wrong. I mean, I may stand before you in 6 months and say, hey, I was wrong. I don't know that I'll ever admit that, but I'll find some kind of an excuse. Okay, one more, come on. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sure. Thank you.
China, I just would like to know, will you call Chinese President Xi when you come back to DC
Yes.
to discuss about the achievements you made today with
Yes.
Chairman Peng? And
I will.
what's your expectation about China's role to accelerate the process to establish a long-term peace mechanism?
Well, my expectation about China is that China is a great country with a great leader and a friend of mine. And I really believe that he's happy that we've made this kind of progress. And I've heard from him. But I will be calling him very shortly, maybe even before I land. Okay? And I have to say, and the United States is a great country. And we have set records economically, over $7 trillion in net worth addition to what we have. And we are almost twice the size, the economy of the United States. Nobody talks about this because you do hear a lot about China, and rightfully so. But the United States now is almost twice the size of the economy of China. We have a great country, and we're on a correct path. Okay, one more, that'll be it. Oh, South Korea? Where's South Korea? I think you deserve... Go ahead. Go. You deserve one, yes. You deserve one.
I've got 2 questions for you, Mr. President. First, you mentioned earlier that you're going to talk with South Korean President Moon Jae-in over the
Yes.
phone. What do you plan to discuss with him?
I just want to tell him about the meeting, very successful, and he'll be very much involved in the final negotiation. He's a very, very fine gentleman, also a friend of mine, and I look forward to speaking to him. He'll be very happy when he hears about... I've already sent word to him about what happened. I sent the document to him, actually, and all of the details behind the document. So I'll be talking to him very shortly.
If I may ask another question, in signing the peace treaty, do you plan to work this out with North Korea's Chairman Kim only, or what do you think about the involvement of South Korea and China as the signatories?
I'd like to have them involved also. There's a question as to whether or not we're supposed to or whether or not we legally have to. I don't care. I think it would be great to have China involved and also, of course, South Korea. Okay? Mike, do they have a transcript? They probably have a rough transcript, which you can give us if you have one. No, they didn't record it. I don't think they recorded it. Are there any recordings of it? I wish there were, because it is interesting stuff. Say it? I don't. We probably have some notes or something, but they have actually detailed notes, I would imagine. But we had a great conversation. It was a very heartfelt conversation. Well, I don't have to verify because I have one of the great memories of all time, so I don't have to. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but I don't want to discuss it. But what we did is we've had numerous discussions. We've had all over the goal line. it doesn't mean enough, okay? So thank you and sort of congratulations to everybody in the room. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You have been watching the President of the United States live from Singapore with the press conference wrapping up his historic summit with Kim Jong-un. He said it was a great conversation. The highlight is North Korea agreed to complete denuking as soon as possible. We'll have further details over on the Fox News channel, along with analysis on Fox and Friends. In the meantime, we return you now to your regular programming on your Fox affiliate.
You just watched a historic moment, that historic handshake, a diplomatic document that he signed, and a moment for the history books, a big warning.
Yeah, you're all talking about something that started 9 o'clock yesterday, Eastern time last night. They went through the night. They actually talked for about 5 hours, and the press conference started about 10 after 4 Eastern time and just ended. All questions were welcome from around the world, and they have 4 main principles that they say they've accomplished, so-called laying the groundwork for more talks. A lot here. We have
I think the biggest one is North Korea has agreed the denuking of the Korean Peninsula. That was a huge deal.
Absolutely, and there you can see them signing that agreement. At the beginning, they hadn't released it, but the president did hold it up, and somebody took a picture of it and then started to read it. John Roberts is actually live. He was in the room. He was asked a question by the President of the United States involving his hair and other things, and he joins us.
Hey, John.
My wife asks me the same questions, let me tell you that. I think what we saw here in the last 36 hours in Singapore really is one for the history books. It really was an extraordinary series of moments from President Trump arriving here, Kim arriving here, meeting with the Prime Minister of Singapore, and then having that one-on-one meeting between the two of them, just the two leaders in their expanded dialogue. And then that North Korea has in exchange for United States security guarantees agreed to the complete denuclearization of the North Korean peninsula. It really is an extraordinary moment in history. That said, the devil always is...
Beautiful view. This is a hotel in Big Island. Cái này nè.
Chắc vậy, chắc nó
Nó là cái riêng cạnh mà.
thấy chưa? Mặt Pháp ahead. Macadamia nut.
Ok. Đây cây nó nè.
Ngộ á, cái cây này ngộ á. Nó mắc, nó cây hồng này nó đắt hơn cá su nhiều. Cá su chừng 8 đồng cái này. Cá su tới 8 đồng, 6 đồng bao à. Cái này tới 10 mấy đồng.
To look 50,000 mat tree and how many acre?
2,500.
2,500 acre.
Ba cái xe tour nó chở đến đây nè. Vậy ta đi cũng đi.
On the north shore of Hawaii Island, the grandest of these cathedral valleys is Waipio. It was the home of storied high chiefs from ancient days. It was where the fabled hero Umi went as a boy to meet his royal father and to claim his chiefly birthright. Before he set out, his mother told him, Waipio is a land of plenty. It is a beautiful land to behold from the top of the precipice. You will see the numerous fish ponds and taro patches. The long river there is Wailoa, and on both sides of it are the clusters of houses. This is where Kamehameha the Great was raised and trained in the warrior's arts. This is the heartland of Hawaiian culture. We have watched Pele change from explosion to serenity, from defiance to surrender, from hot red to fertile green. She has accepted the companionship of living creatures, including more than 1,000 species, world-renowned, a popular destination, and so well known. In fact, far from known. As we discover by departing Kahului, a classic tropical port town, its welter streets and businesses wrapped around a large bay. And by flying west over the almost uninhabited headlands of Kahapulua. Maui is a complex experience, especially because most of this supposedly well-known island lies beyond all roadways. Most of Maui remains a mystery to humanity. Waihe'e Stream flows in a canyon that's over 3,000 feet deep. Waihe'e is one of 4 great streams that flow constantly from the windward side of West Maui. People call this area this exaltation of the force of the ocean.
Nó không cho đâu, nó cho con mang cái này lên mấy bạn lên đấy.
In fact, these ridges and canyons are all part of a single mountain properly called Mauna Kahala Lake, an old volcano that cooled to extinction long ago. Waihe'e Stream is one of many waterways that flow out of the collapsed heart of the old mountain. Its source is a huge natural amphitheater that time has carved right up to the base of the old mountain summit. That summit, called Pu'u, rises over 4,000 feet in elevation and is almost always lost in the clouds. These falls attest to the fact that Pu'uku'ui is one of the rainiest places on Earth.
Mình tưởng nó không có để cho mình đi mình đồng quá.
Like spokes from a hub.
Thì giống như kia đó, mình đi không qua cái đi của mình đi sẵn ấy đó, 5 người từ xe đó mà đâu mười mấy người mà đi có 5 người. Kia đó ít người đi, cái này nhiều người đi.
Where it reaches the sea, it forms a beautiful bay, one of the 6 Pi'ilani bays that distinguish West Maui's leeward shores. One stream more or less windward, one more or less leeward. But they begin side by side here at the foot of Pu'uku'ui, each stream with its own amphitheater headland. Unlike the Waihe'e headland though, which we saw with its pattern of lacy falls, originates from a single that
còn chụp ảnh đó, chụp ảnh này anh chụp đi, còn ai còn em anh đấy chụp váy anh chụp.
Bên kia nó có cái chỗ ngồi khác bên Paradise.
In old days, there was so much fresh water here from springs and streams that one of the first Western visitors, Captain George Vancouver, called Lahaina the Venice of the Pacific. Although West Maui's leeward slopes get hit with rain far less frequently than those on the windward side, these canyons are still deeply eroded by streamwater. Visit attain some of that grace, for it seems obvious that people take on some of the characteristics of their natural environment. But the second largest Hawaiian island is more than Mauna Kahala Lake, much more. Maui is complex and surprising. Just when you think you finally understood the place, you'll turn and look the other way. As if under the protection of a
Anh dùng
large
cái máy
dry or cylinder,
nhỏ các bạn
two
lên chụp em.
beaches lie
Anh nói
serene
dùng máy đó
between
chụp
sea
em.
and
Chụp lại.
land. A reminder that Maui's story is a story of
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akila. I'll be giving you folks a verbal safety briefing. You folks can just have a seat up there. You folks can just have a seat. So we'll be walking you folks out on the dotted, the white painted lines, and we'll line you folks up in front of the helicopters. Since we can't compete with the sound of one, we'll call you folks forward by using hand signals. So for instance, if you're number 1, you'll come forward 2, and so on and so forth. Once your folks' tours are over, you go to the front of the helicopter, not the rear, just because that tail rotor spinning at head level is very dangerous back there. As for opening, closing the doors, buckling yourselves in, you folks don't need to worry about that. Our grounds crew will be taking care of those for you. So all you folks need to do is just sit back and relax. Very important, if you folks are seated next to the emergency jettison door handle, we just ask if you folks please do not tamper with it unless your pilot asks you to do so in case of an emergency. All our aircrafts are equipped with water floats just in case we do have to do an emergency water landing. You see in the picture here, they're yellow. On our aircrafts, they're gray. We'll be putting stools in front of those so you don't need to be stepping on the floats. When we get down to the flight line, we're passing out your folks' life vest. And they will look something like this. Prior to putting them on, you want to make sure the orange tab is facing out and down like so. Put it on, simply take the black strap, put it around your waist. You want to insert it to the buckle. You want to use the 2 yellow tabs on each side to cinch tight. You don't want them too tight, as for ground crew, you may need to move it either from left to right, depending on where you sit on the aircraft. Some things you folks can bring along with you: cell phones on airplane mode, cameras with the flashes off, video cameras, just the GoPros itself, any binocular type items, your folks' sunglasses, and a bottle of water will be fine. Everything else, such as hats and bags, we'll lock them up for you up at the front desk. So at this time, if you folks don't have any questions, you folks can make your way out to the front desk. We'll go ahead, lock up items there, and then we'll walk down through the flight line.
Any accident happened in the past?
Rồi như vậy. One number.
So yeah, we'll have the same like this. Yeah, we'll have the
How about number? Number.
We'll give the numbers when we get down to the flight.
Okay. Được rồi nè. Trời có lên nè. Tốt. Nhưng mà đừng lên nhiều quá không tốt. Nó sáng quá. Gì là tốt rồi. Hey, go to helicopter.
Nó đi vai theo cái sức nặng, cái sức nặng của mình. Mấy người phải có cái bà thì sao nó cho bà đem nón thôi.
Oh well, you know they didn't give clear instructions.
Đó là mình biết cũng người ta cũng đi dữ lắm.
Đi lên xe nữa.
Sau mình còn 4 người nữa.
Cái áo này cũng rất là nó làm lại cho đường cắp.
Làm để ra đừng lấy. That's the main purpose.
Go right behind.
Okay.
Be number 2, Macy. Be number 3.
Đừng chụp qua ngoài cái mà hàng rào không thấy đâu. Để bây giờ. The helicopter we go to Blue Hawaiian fly.
con không?
Đúng rồi.
Anh làm cũng đàng hoàng chứ.
Oh, different company.
Đó là Faraday.
Hey, go to helicopter. So volcano still going on here. That's about from here to the 2 miles. Volcano named Kilauea Kilauea volcano in Big Mountain in Hawaii. So to running. Today is June 13, 2018, around 8:30 p.m. right now. Lava from the volcano shoot up, and flow to the ocean. And when it hit the ocean, become the lakes. So lakes with the bad air. So if you breathe in hard from here over there, not too far. This from here to the lakes here, about 11 miles. But from here to the volcano here, about 2 or 3 miles. So you see the flame going up right now. You see the lava shoot up. This afternoon I take a helicopter tour to see the lava.
Actually, you can take your hammer and actually touch the lava to take a sample. When you do that, you're actually touching a river of fire that goes from your hand, literally, through that superficial lava flow down into the earth, down to the source underneath Kilauea volcano, and then from there it goes down 60 kilometers or so deep within the earth, the area where volcanoes are creators. Other forces of nature, major windstorms or glaciers, they tear land apart, they destroy land. I mean, that's part of the evolution of the Earth. But the volcanoes are the engines of the Earth that's building up new land. It's how the Earth was formed.
There's something really primordial about the volcano. There's something really elemental about it. That's the birth of the earth.
The flames, the heat, and the pulsing. It's almost like the blood veins of these islands of Hawaii is Pele. She's constantly creating more land, and to us that's very important.
In the past 24 years, almost 600 acres of new land have been added onto the Big Island of Hawaii. So the Big Island is getting bigger.
It's a connection for me. It's a place to come that I feel reverence. I feel awe. I feel inspired. I feel at peace when I'm at the volcano.
It's like going into a church. I feel great respect for what's going on. I guess that's the power of Pele that I respect. I refer to the volcano as she. I refer to her lava flows, and I mean it.
People that come to the Big Island should understand that Pele is very sacred to us. She's not just a science project. She is indeed a goddess.
Ở Cô Na đó. Ở đấy tôi ghét ở bên bay đó.
Honolulu. Ở đây thì nóng hơn kia, đây nóng kia.
Cái họng đây